How many times have you been involved in a meeting and not understood what's being said, and then nodded along anyway? Why did we do that? Like, who does that benefit? Today, we'll talk about why it's okay to ask questions and be the idiot in the room. Let's get into it. I want to preface this by saying a couple of things. First of all, the idea around doing this video came from me watching a 2-minute long video of Simon Sinek talking about why it's okay to be the idiot in the room, right? That got me thinking, hold on, we really don't ask enough questions in our industry. I think there's this weird innate culture around asking questions actually makes you look stupid, right? So I wanted to investigate and talk about why that's actually an issue, right, in our industry. Going off the back of that, the tech industry is quite toxic, right? Very male heavy. And what that means is that actually people get uncomfortable, right? There's this machoistic culture around certain companies, certain just social media platforms where it basically leads to us feeling like, hold on, I don't feel comfortable asking questions. And that's quite wrong. So I wanted to explore that, right? Now, I know this is changing, right? But there are still people in a lot of workplaces that are like that and that do make people feel stupid and question themselves when they ask a question. So that's actually the reason why I'm like, hold on. This is a worthy topic for us to talk about. Why do I think it's important to ask questions, you might be thinking? Well, number one, it is fundamentally one of the best ways you will improve as an engineer. Asking questions will improve you as an engineer. That's it, full stop. Sure, you can improve by reading a lot of books, right? And then implementing those learnings. You could watch videos, but you could also ask questions. You can talk to the people in your company who have been working on the software that you're working on day in, day out, maybe longer than you have. So why not ask those people the questions, right? That's number one. You will improve as a developer. That's it. Now, there are also negative effects of not asking questions. Now, think about a scenario where some engineer is presenting a new feature that they're working on and a way they're going to try and solve the issues. No one asks any questions, which means that developer has their own free pass to do whatever they want. They can go off on one. And that can have detrimental impacts down the line. How many times have you worked on a project and spoken to someone and said, this was done by this crazy guy 3 years ago who just went off on one? And you're living with a tech debt. So it's not just the positive sides, but there's also negative sides of not speaking up and actually asking questions. This also leads on to another positive benefit, which is when the question is reframed or asked in a way which us normal people would be able to understand the question, we might have something to add, right? Someone might ask a question, we don't understand it, we ask them to clarify it, right? And you're like, oh, hold on, I actually solved this issue at my last job or in the last project, and this is the right way to do it, or not. You can actually add value when you actually fully understand what the problem is. So there's another benefit of actually asking questions and why we should be doing more of it. You might be thinking, hey, I know this, right? Of course I know these are all the benefits I can get when I ask questions. The real question is, why are people not doing this, right? Why are people not asking questions? Well, there's a few reasons, but the first one is around your internal mindset. And it all comes down to the fear of looking stupid, right? I have it, you have it, everyone has it. They don't want to look stupid in front of other people. And a lot of the times we feel that, if I ask this question, I'm going to look stupid in front of all of my colleagues. Let me tell you, no one thinks that, but that's something that we think internally, right? The other thing around this is you might question the validity of your job. You're like, hold on, if I ask this question, is this going to mean that I don't deserve this off? If I have this job, I should know this particular set of information already. I shouldn't be asking a question around clarifications around what this is, right? So there's the other thing, like imposter syndrome, which is, again, something we can talk about in another video. But those kind of doubts creep in your mind and make you question yourself, your ability, and your ability to actually ask really valid questions. Let me tell you, when people say that there are no stupid questions, right? They say that out. And I'm sure there are stupid and sexist and racist and bullshit questions that people have. But a lot of the questions that we have, technical questions, are all really valid. It's okay to ask something that you don't understand. You're not going to look stupid. But, of course, our brain will tell us that, hey, you don't want to look stupid in front of those people. So that's the internal mindset that can cause havoc in you to just feel uncomfortable asking questions. Another thing that can happen is potentially a cultural thing. You've seen other people ask questions and get shot down for asking questions, and you might feel like, hold on, I don't want to be shot down. I don't want to look stupid in front of other people. And if that happens, then there's one of two things you can do, right? You should raise this with your engineering team and be like, hey, hold on, this isn't the right environment for not just me, but for other people to grow. If I feel uncomfortable, imagine how other people feel asking questions. So let's do something about it, right? And that is your opportunity to actually raise it and be like, hey, let's do that. Let's finish the presentations. Let's actually end the presentations with, has anyone got any questions? Can I clarify anything with you, right? And maybe even saying, no question's a stupid question, right? Ask anything you'd like. Because making the culture open around asking questions will mean that more people do it. And when more people do it, hold on, the guy who's talking about building the thing doesn't make any sense. He's going about it the wrong way. The more we all talk about this, the more we all question things, the better an impact it will have on every one of us. So that's how I would solve an issue around being shot down when asking questions, right? Sure, there's another one, which is, I'm going to leave this place. This isn't the right place for me. But actually, you can help the company grow and have this mindset around asking questions being okay. Now, you might be asking, is this actually a common issue, Sohail? Like, does this actually happen? Let me give you an example. How many times have you or I been to talks, right? Lots of times we've been to talks prior to being in this kind of environment, right? Having a drink, having some pizzas, food, whatever, and listening to people, speakers talking about really interesting topics. And at the end of the topic, they say, any questions? Right? And there's a silence for, a few minutes, until one person, brave enough, puts their hand up, asks a question, and then so many other hands go up. It's like the floodgates have opened, right? That one question leads everyone else to ask more questions. Everyone else feels relaxed. They're like, okay, right? They have the fear of being the first and looking like a stupid person, right? So it happens all the time. So if you're thinking how common this is, let me tell you, it's very, very common. Now, there's another side to it, which, again, goes back to the internal battle that you're having or I'm having with myself. People feel comfortable asking outward-facing questions, not inward-facing ones, outward-facing ones. For example, you might be looking at a code base and you feel comfortable asking the person who's written the code, like, hey, why is the file structure like this? Why are we going down this route for architecture, right? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? So you are very comfortable asking outward-facing questions because it doesn't impact you. But as soon as the person who's written the code is explaining something to you and saying, so have you done this before, or do you understand this? And you go, yes, even though your brain is like, no, right? We have to become better at saying, no, I don't understand this. And that is, again, the internal battle, because you don't want to look stupid, or you don't want that person to judge you to be like, hey, that person doesn't know anything, right? But if the environment, the culture, the people are right, and you feel comfortable asking questions, then you should 100% ask those questions, because doing that will lead you to have a better understanding of that code base, and it'll improve you as an engineer. So I want to end this by saying there's a lot of bravado, there's a lot of internal insecurities which lead us to not being in a position to ask questions, ask really valid questions. And I think we should change that. We should start by asking those questions, not worry about the insecurities that you may have, because let me tell you, your questions are valid. And you asking those questions will not only make you better as an engineer, it will make your workplace better, because other people are going to see you asking questions and be like, hey, yeah, it's okay to ask questions. It's okay to go around talking about certain things, questioning certain things, and doing those things as a whole will improve everything. Yep. That's it from me. It was a short one. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.